Hello everybody, John here, and today on To The Garage we're finally showing you how to take off safely the chrome mirror caps from your NP300. Thanks to everybody who's been making comments about the channel, and particularly to all of you who have intrigued me with your desire to get rid of these things. As I've said in my recent blog, I really like all the chrome, but you guys need to take it off. So I've been working on a method to safely remove these things without breaking the clips, and I can see why it's been a challenge. I have cracked it, no pun intended, and it is quite a challenge. Until you know how, then it's easy. So if you're enjoying this video, please subscribe, please share with your friends, do me a little favour or two, because this has cost me a little bit of time and I broke a cover in learning how to do this for you. But now, all good. And as you can tell by the little dots that are on my mirror, this is not the straightest forward thing unless you know. So let's get into it. Good news, you really don't need a lot of tools to do this. A couple of screwdrivers, straight blade and a Phillips, some masking tape, and I'm using my Winomo panel trim removing levers that you've seen in other videos. You can definitely get away with that, and you can use the screwdrivers, anything you've got lying around. These just make it easy and they don't scratch things. Step one is to position the mirror correctly. So we need to adjust the mirrors. Your mirror controls are down here. If your car's not on and you don't want to start it, then press the start button twice. That gets the ignition on. Over to the control, turn it to the left if that's the mirror that you're going to be working, and just tilt it so that it's pointing up as far as it can. You want to make a gap at the bottom. So the next thing, we have to remove the mirror. Now, I've just put a piece of masking tape around the end of a flat blade screwdriver. You can use one of the tools out of the Winomo kit, which are obviously not going to scratch anything, but just to show you guys, is we're going in between the bottom of the mirror, oops, there we go, and the bottom of the mirror, and as you slide along there's a notch, and I'll show you on the back of the mirror. Now that notch allows you to get your screwdriver blade closer to the back of the glass. What you need to do is slide your screwdriver up where you find that notch and keep it hard against the back of the glass. Don't pry too hard because you'll break it. And you're going to go between the back of the mirror and the bracket that holds it. Once you've pushed in far enough, you'll feel it grip. All you need to do then is give it a twist. There you go. And you've unhooked the mirror. And now the bottom edge of the mirror is loose. And it's basically a bit of jiggling now. You're going to unhook it from the top. Once you see inside, you'll see how it works. Through that notch to there, and under this piece of plastic, and I was basically there in that gap, and as I twisted it, it pushed the white away from the black. The top is hooked on these two lugs here. The bottom that we dislodged, we've got two grippers around these rods, and the grippers, these. So it is attached electrically because it's a heated mirror on my car. You don't necessarily need to disconnect that. Please do if it's going to feel better about things. But for me, the easiest way to deal with this is just sit it over the back there. In learning how to do this, I've had this mirror shell off, and everybody else's mirror shell is not going to have a fluorescent yellow paint on the inside of it. Mine does. Why? because it is so difficult to find the clips. So that's to aid you guys in understanding how this works. So we go around the other side. Let me explain the dots. I'll show you on the inside of the mirror when we get it off, because generally that's how people understand, is the disassemble thing is easy. These dots represent the positions of the clips that are holding the mirror shell onto the casing. Each dot is positioned exactly over the clip. There are 8. No wonder we all have problems getting these things off. There are less clips on the average door card. Also, the mirror is quite flimsy here. That bottom part connects there, and that's where you can break it very easily and snap or put a crack in across here. And it's easy to break the clips off on the inside, parts of them anyway. These 2 arrows are not clips. They just represent the positions of 2 little dowels that are holding the thing in place. And that will become clear in a moment. Okay, step 2. Equally very easy once you know how. Now, to get at all of the clips, you need to remove the motor that positions the mirror. Now, there's a selection of screws in here. You undo the wrong ones, you'll get yourself into a world of pain. Do not touch this screw here. And there's another one that's hidden, but you're unlikely to, but I did. That's what holds the indicator to the inside of the shell. If you loosen that and then don't complete the whole job, you'll have your indicator rattling around loose. The 3 that you want are 1, 2, and reach through that hole 3. It's useful to have a magnetic tool. You don't want to be dropping these inside the mirror shell. Okay, now we've got those out. You can see here, I hope, there is a little finger. It's not really a clip, it doesn't bend, that's reaching over the top of the motor. So all you have to do is grab hold of the motor and give it a wriggle and pull it down. So I'm out at the bottom and then down, which you can, from under that finger. There you go. You'll probably see the finger a little bit easier now. So this has got recesses where these lugs are, so you've got to pull it out to get it down. It doesn't feel very good when you're doing it, but there you go. Doing it, just unhooking the wires from that little clip there, and again just pop him there out the way, and that reveals as much as we're going to see of the inside of our mirror casing. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we've got to remove all 8 of the clips. I say remove, they're just pieces of plastic that need to be bent, and they only need to be bent by 2 or 3 millimeters. So you've not got to remove these things very far. The challenge for you guys will be finding them. Now, as I say, I've had this shell off a few times in learning how to do this safely, and I've sprayed the inside with fluorescent yellow paint to make things easy. And the reality is, I can show you the location of 6 of those clips from this side. The other 2, you've still got to use the force. So, as I said previously, I've marked the positions of all 8 clips. Easy ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is just a little harder to see, but no harder to get out. 7 and 8 are really, really difficult to get at. So we're going to start off with this. and this. This is the first of those clips. And all we have to do, use the other end of my tool, is push it into its hole, and that one is released. Come down here, a bit easier to see, a bit easier to video. Go another one, get the focus. Just going to push it into its hole. There you go. Nearly off. There you go. Well in. And let's go for one more. This one here, which is nice and obvious in my green version, lime green, yellow, fluorescent, but not so when they're all black. Push that one down, and with every one of these clips, when you're worrying about which way to push, they're all, without exception, if this is the middle of the mirror, you're pushing them down, out, away, up, away from the middle of the mirror. This one's a little awkward because it's across and down, but it's still the same sort of idea. Down and away. Give that a good push. Now at this stage we've got a decent gap appeared, and you can see these two pegs. They just slide into slots on the frame. You don't want to lever this too hard because the top half is still attached and you'll start to break things. But these little tools are brilliant now because I can poke something in and it stops them from re-engaging. Which means then I grab another, my kit, and move on to the next clip. So that's 1, 2, 3 gone. Now we're going to number 4. Away from the middle of the mirror, and that's it, it's gone. And number 5 is, that's number 5. Give that a little push. Up and away from the middle of the mirror. And again, he's trying to pop back in. So I'm just going to alternate between that one and that one. And see if I can get them to stay long enough to get another little one of my pry bars in. Now clip 6 is harder to see. So that's the view of the mirror. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clip 6 is here behind this. So look at where you've had your mirror motor mounted. The bottom right hole on this particular mirror, past that little lug, and it's underneath here. So I'm reaching it, I'm touching it now. You can get your head into the right position. Just try with the camera. There we are. You can see now why I've used the fluorescent paint. That is the other clip. So there's where we're looking. There's the clip, and again it's going away from the middle of the mirror, so essentially down on this one. I'm not going to be able to video me doing that, so let's just do it. Boom. Good click. So move nothing. You can see the mirror is almost on shell, working well. These two are now our problem. With all those off, these two are no longer needed. So take those away, put them back. These last two clips are very difficult to get at. In order to get at them, you've got to go around the back of here. You've got a very tight gap, and then curve round, and they're actually sort of there. So to be plain, that's really not going to happen. So to actually get at those clips, you're going to have to go through the gap at the bottom, which obviously means you risk breaking things. Here's the only thing you've got to make to get at them. I very often make up little tools from brilliant material. It is biscuit tub lids, same as ice cream tubs or anything else. Flexible plastic, brilliant for making things like body filler spreaders, etc. You can make all sorts of tools to get interior trim parts off, radios out, that sort of thing. So that's the material. This is a little shape I've made up for doing this job. I'll put some dimensions on this and show you so you can make up something similar, or come up with your own little solutions. And what we're going to do is we're going to thread this in from the bottom to push those two clips, same as the others, away from the middle of the mirror, which is over there. So why's it got that on it? Nissan, almost in an attempt to defeat us, have fitted the inside of this mirror shell with a little blade here. That means when you slide that up, it stops. It hits the blade. So you need to go around it like that and then give it a bit of a push. So it's hardly an exact science. The mirror is almost off. You can jiggle the shell and you may get these to come loose, but you may break the clips off. This gives you a lot more chance of going in, pushing back, jiggle the mirror shell, and hey presto, we're a winner. So let's have a go at that. And that's worked. And what I've also done to help me is I used this end to push the mirror shell that way as I used my tool. And she's off. And you see what the masking tape was for. You do need several hands to do this, and it is really easy to drop the shell. So what have we just done? We have pulled clips out of a hole here, this slot, as you can see, and this slot here. So right round the corner, and from above, access would be around this hinge. It's not going to happen. This is the left hand side as you're looking out the windscreen. Wing mirror, shell, outer edge, inner edge. Let's have a little look. So first thing, remind you, they're not green inside normally, green yellow. This is all chromy, and the clips are painted black. You can see the black spot under there, which I'm convinced is just to make it difficult to remove. So first thing, got these two little dowels. They slot into a hole on the edge of the mirror. So without the clips, they just literally, you just slide them in, slide them out. They stop this edge from coming this way. and mean that you can't get a tool underneath and pull because that is in a hole. The clips that we removed, in the order we removed them, were this one. And again, you can see how it works. It helps you to understand what you're doing. All we did was bent it back so that little barb let go of the mirror housing. 1, 2. This one, relatively easy to get at and see. 3, bend it back. At the bottom, this one was relatively easy to see. 4, bend it back. This is the one that you couldn't easily see. You can get into position, but it's behind the bracket for the mirror motor. Bend that one back. One up the top here, easy, and then these 2 little buggers on the far end. And again, same design, tiny little barb tops. And you will note mine has got a missing top because that one got broke learning how to remove these things. So even using this technique, there's a small risk. I think I could remove this every time now without breaking any of these, and I can get away with the fact that that one's bust. But take care. So what am I doing with this bit of plastic, this tool? What I'm trying to do is get inside the mirror casing, curve it a little bit, come near the top and push back on the tops of these clips to help us remove it. The cutout is for that. So that's why it's this shape. To sneak in, push, and push away towards the car. Refitting is very easy. So quite a lot going on in a very small space. So I'm going to forgive Nissan some of the complexity of taking the shell off. The fact that they have done quite a job of packaging a lot of gear into a small space. If you did break all the clips off your mirror, you could use a little bit of 3M tape to try and hold it back, but it won't be ideal. Refitting is very easy and involves putting these 2 pegs on the end in first. Very easy. Line up the slot in the mirror with the indicator, slide the ends of the dowels towards the black casing. Oops, I don't know what I did. And you will feel them engage very easily. Swivel the rest of the mirror case around. Hold it lightly in place. So once you have that bit right, it's just a case of pushing the clips back into position. So from the outside, I'm pushing with my fingers. Watch, hopefully, the clips pop into place. Key is really just start from the outside of the car and finish on those troublesome clips near the door. Finish off here. Check you've got a good fit all the way around. So we're putting this back. It goes that way up. Clue is you've got to have one of these long legs with a curve at the bottom and 2 of these clips at the bottom. You've got a hole there and a boss there and a recess on the back. So you've got to basically wriggle the whole thing into place. I'm making a bit of a meal of this. Ah, she's gone. Right. So that's back in place. Just put the screws in. So all that leaves is replacement of the mirror lens. Top has these two. The top, those hooks, have got to go underneath and hook up on that and that. There we go, that's up now. Really got to get right up to get them hooked under. Push the bottom down and hold the top because the mirror's on a motor, on a gimbal now, and just push till you hear 2 good clicks. Now I think that's on. Very important, give it a good tug at the bottom. You do not want that flying off on you. And there we go. So, other than cleaning my bit of masking tape back off and putting the mirror back in the right place, that is completed. Pull of the shell and reinstall. And I won't be wrapping mine or painting it because I really like the chrome look. I don't know what everybody else is doing. I think it's great. There you go. So there you go. It is possible to remove the chrome mirror shells from your NP300 Navara. It isn't something I'm going to guarantee you'll do without any damage. It's not actually a time-consuming job. This is a literal 5-minuter. Maybe that's because I know where the clips are now. You'll probably take longer finding the clips than you imagine. You'll probably have to take a screenshot from the video of the dots on the outside of my mirror to give you a clue as to where to look. It's not easy because it's black on black. It's a very complex shape inside there. If you have a go and you break a clip, it's on you. This is just how I've done it. It's tricky, and I think Nissan did intend you to get those off. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much to everybody who's taken the time to comment on my other videos and is supporting the channel. Please get involved. I'd love it if you subscribed, give us a thumbs up and share with your friends. I'm trying to build a good community here, and if you're interested in NP300s, T25s, Jaguar XK8s, Jeeps, or anything that is about tinkering around in your garage and playing and enjoying your toys, then think about subscribing, getting involved. See you soon. Oh, just a footnote. To Glyn, one of our subscribers, I'd just like to say, no, I'm not sponsored by McDonald's, but that's an amazing idea. I do enjoy a thick shake.